Today we're going to be ranking removal creatures on a tier list. That's right, the creatures that act like removal. I'm going to start off with Flame Tongue Kavu. The 4-mana 4/2 creature. When it comes into play, it deals 4 damage to target creature. Now that actually seems semi-impressive, 4 mana to kill basically most things and leave a body on the battlefield. But there is one problem, and that is if there is no creature in play, it has to shoot itself. So at the very least, there will be at least one enemy spotted, and that's it. And so if the opponent's board is clear, then your Flame Tongue Kavu is actually pretty clunky. And for that reason, I actually don't think this card has aged actually quite terribly. There's not many creatures these days that would come with such a backbreaking downside. So I actually have to put this somewhere in the C tier. You could argue for the B tier, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of more like just pure upside free roll B tier type cards, whereas I think Flame Tongue Kavu is the downside is a bit too heavy, especially since the decks you're going to want to play this card in are going to keep the board a little bit clear. All right, next up, let's take. So, are we doing creatures with removal abilities? Yes, that's correct. Comes into play, it can take stuff out. That's the idea. Okay, we got the Little Dead Fly with Slum Reaper. Slum Reaper. This is a 4-mana 4/2 horror. When Slum Reaper enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. All of them. It could be even the Slum Reaper. Actually, this suffers a very similar situation to as Flame Tongue Kavu, where when Flame Tongue Kavu comes into play, if there's only one creature, then you're going to have to sacrifice itself. Now, one upside to this card, though, a pretty sizable one, is that you could still 3-for-1 people with the Slum Reaper. Not to mention, you can make people sacrifice very large creatures. And you know what? There's a lot of decks out there. They're heavy on removal. They're heavy on interaction, but they're low on creatures. So the creature that you hit is going to be worth it. So Slum Reaper, I think, is not bad. I think it's basically Flame Tongue Kavu plus, so I can put that in the B tier. You're better. B for better than Flame Tongue Kavu. Okay, we got Scott the Dark Knight with Solitude. Solitude. It almost a danger. A lot of people out there that actually think that Solitude should be banned. I'm not really in their camp, but I understand their pain. If you have a deck where you want to go all in on a creature, where you playing Prowess or Infect, and then Solitude just comes out of nowhere and ruins your hopes and dreams. Yeah, I get it. 5 mana for a 3/2 elemental incarnation. It's got flash. It's got lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to one other target creature. That creature's controller gains life equal to its toughness, and you can evoke it into play for free by exiling a white card from your hand. This card is pushed. I mean, it's not like Force of Will at 5 mana, where 5 mana is really clunky. 5 mana for a 3/2 creature that exiles creatures and gains life at flash speed is all pretty overwhelming. Sees a ton of play in almost every format it's played in. Interestingly, banned in Historic. I actually just learned that today. Solitude. One of the creme de la creme cards, definitely, that's going to be here for today. S tier. It is the is basically the white Force of Will, effectively. And arguably maybe even better. You can't attack with Force of Will. You can attack with Solitude. And of course, the battlefield matters a lot in this game. Tons. Okay, Kano with Prodigal Sorcerer. Timmy. Timmy has taken many forms over the years. 3 mana 1/1. Human Wizard. Tap Prodigal Sorcerer. Deals 1 damage to target creature or player. It's absolutely pathetic. It was probably good at the time, though. But not so much anymore. Not the worst thing in the world, but I'm going to put in the C tier category. I think there's just a lot of cards that are going to outclass this thing, including itself. In fact, Tim cannot even beat a Tim. Banovsky, thank you very much for your super chat. Do adventures count? I love Heartflame. No, actually. Instant sorcery spells you control have. See, this is a whole separate card. I'm not going to count adventures. I'll look out for another card of yours, Banovsky. I don't have to donate this super chat. It's removal creatures. I will not. I know what you're getting at. It's too cheatsy. It's like it's basically you know, one of those split cards. It's got to be the creature is doing the removing, not the instant. That's the deal here. But if the creature side removes something, it would be all 2 thumbs up by me. Council Star with False Prophet. I spelled that wrong horribly. Prophet. 4 mana for a 2/2. When False Prophet is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, exile all creatures. First you see him, and now you don't. The age-old question: if someone jumped off a bridge, would you follow them? And the answer is probably not. Probably not. So this card's very super situational. You have to kill it, so I'm going to put in the C tier. Very, very False Prophet. Essentially, it's like a board wipe that requires you to use removal on itself, because no one's going to do it for you unless you flash it in play by some chance. Okay, next up, next super chat from Kagan with Necrite to represent the Fallen Empires. We need to get Fallen Empires on this show. 3 mana for a 2/2 Thrall. When Necrite attacks and isn't blocked, you may sacrifice it. If you do, destroy target creature defending player controls. It can't be regenerated. That's not the worst thing in the world. So if you do destroy target creature, but it has to be the defending player. That sounds quite terrible. Why would anyone ever let you pull this off? I mean, I guess if there's like a 0/1 creature you desperately need to kill and they can't block it anyway, so it's a lose-lose situation, I suppose. But otherwise, there's like no way this thing's not getting blocked, especially if there was a precious creature on the battlefield to make sure it is blocked. It's got to be D tier. There's no way this is like even C tier. It's just a tier below the rest. Okay, next up, Henry. Henry with Necrotol. Necrotol is a 4 mana 2/1 first strike. Enters the battlefield. Destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. That creature can't be regenerated. Do you know what? Honestly, it's simple. It's somewhat clean. You can't kill the artifacts or and it has to be a non-black creature. But it's gonna get the job done, and you leave a body behind. I actually think that's B tier worthy. It's very simple and clean, and you can kill like basically 80% of the creatures in the game. Basically 80%. Okay, next up, we got Jack with the Big Game Hunter. Looking for big game out there. But did he get a permit for that hunting? It's a 3 mana 1/1 human rebel assassin. Enters the battlefield. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. It can't be regenerated, but it also has madness. So if you do play it in a deck that lets you discard, you get to destroy that giant creature for only a single mana. I think it's pretty clunky to get online. And also, I mean, yeah, it's somewhat clunky to get online. Even if you do play in a Madness deck, I don't even know if you want to run this thing in there. It's either B or C, but I'm going to relegate it to the C tier. Okay, next up. This is... Did Benovsky redeem themselves? I did not see it. Pedgeman. Elish Norn Grand Cenobite. Yeah, we'll do Elish Norn. Elish Norn! She danger! She danger! 7 mana 4/7. Vigilance. Other creatures you control get +2/+2. And the creatures your opponents control. -2/-2. Can wipe out all tokens. Wipe out wipes out Big Game Hunter, Necrotol, Necrite, False Prophet. And then, well, if you wipe out the False Prophet, Elish Norn, you're gonna wipe out yourself. Very powerful creature. Basically, when Elish Norn is on the battlefield, you need to be this tall to play the game effectively. It's just like trying to get in line for a roller coaster. Henrik with Calidus Assassin. This is a 6 mana 3/3 human shapeshifter assassin, flash. Polymorphine. You may have Calidus Assassin enter the battlefield tapped as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it has, when this creature enters the battlefield, destroy up to one other target creature with the same name as this creature. Oh, so we're killing the thing that we're copying? That's pretty, that is pretty sus. An imposter is around here. So it's just a 6-mana removal. It's a removal clone. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's very expensive, but I think that's very strong. You get to it's almost like creature steal. I'm gonna put that in the A tier. I like it. I sort of like it. All right, Steve Cooper with the Plague Engineer and a donation. Thanks so much, Steve Cooper. Well, that Plague Engineer, huh? Well, now I hate whoops, this is Engineered Plague. That's the wrong one. I hate Plague Engineer. I don't know if everyone hates Plague Engineer. 3 mana 2/2. It's a carrier. I don't even know what that means. It carries the plague. Is that what? Oh, maybe that's what it means. I just thought it was so weird. It's called a carrier. Like, I don't know, like a postman or something. Death Touch. As it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type, and creatures of the chosen type your opponents control get -1/-1. 1 toughness is banned around here. You got 1 toughness, you take it back to 2. You take it back to where it came from. You can only 2 toughness around here or more. Now, so it is strong versus a very wide range. It's like mini Elish Norn, so it's wide versus a wide array of 1 toughness creatures. Downside is they're getting more and more unpopular as time goes on, and Plague Engineer is losing its luster. So it's becoming more and more situational as the game gets power crept. And so I actually can't say that this is a super strong card. It's probably very weak A tier though, very weak A tier, but A tier nonetheless. I would not be surprised if like 5-10 years from now this card is like worthless. Unless they start pumping out like way more 1 toughness OP creatures, more like Ragavan power level creatures. Oh boy, with sorry, I meant to get hit. Oh boy, Mangara of Corridor. Corondor. This is a 3 mana 1/1 human wizard. Tap, exile Mangara of Corondor and target permanent. You can hit anything. You can even hit a land. That's right. This could be 3 mana. This is White Stone Rain right here. Or you can hit enchantments, artifacts. You know, the possibilities are endless. Now, it is important to note that you sort of have a gimmick with this card. You tap it to activate its ability, and in response, you can blink or flicker it. And you still get the ability anyway, as strangely as that sounds. So before you hold priority, so you tap it, hold priority, blink and flicker it, and then you just exile permanents. You don't, and well, I don't know. Exiling itself is not part of the cost. It's part of the effect, but it's not there anymore, so who cares? Solid B tier. Very solid. Very, very, very solid. We have a super chat actually to donate. We'll give it to Julian. I feel bad when I click on somebody's name when I wasn't supposed to, and it makes them feel like they clicked my name. They clicked my name and ignored me. High Priest of Penance is a 2 mana 1/1 human cleric. When High Priest of Penance is dealt damage, you may destroy target non-land permanent. That very it's depends too much on the opponent. Whenever it's dealt damage, I mean, I guess you could be the one dealing the damage to this thing, but cards like this are just you cannot. You know the fate. Your destiny is not in your hands, so I'm gonna have to put in the C tier. What do we have here? Dinglebag, Bane of Progress. Bane of Progress is a 6 mana 2/2 elemental. Enters the battlefield. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Put a +1/+1 counter on Bane of Progress for each permanent destroyed this way. Pretty banger card for Commander, I would assume. Just enter the battlefield, wipe the board of all the important cards. Just make sure, and it buffs itself up. So without a doubt, this is what it's like. What is this? Probably a 6 mana 10/10 on average. If I were to take a wild guess, A tier. Fantastic utility. My first account from 2008. Sorry, Goblin Assassin. Well, what is this? Is this like a troll on Royal Assassin? This is 5 mana for a 2/2. Whenever Goblin Assassin or another Goblin comes into play, each player flips a coin. Each player whose coin comes up tails sacrifices a creature. This is too much of a gamble. You're taking a chance. Basically, you're gone the way of Two-Face. Why don't we flip a coin and decide your destiny? D tier. Going down in the pits. Matt McCluskey with the Daybreak Ranger. Daybreak Ranger is a 3-mana 2/2. Tap deals 2 damage to target creature with flying. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no creatures were cast last turn, we get to transform it into what? Could it be? A 4/4 Nightfall Predator. For a red tap, it fights target... fighting it... the backside is better than the front side. You get to fight target creature, and at the beginning of each upkeep, if the player casts 2 or more spells, you retransform it. Front side sucks big time. 3-mana 2/2 that only hits flyers is pretty poor. Backside is strong, but you do have to pass the turn for it. We're gonna judge it a little bit on... We're gonna judge the... Never judge a book by its cover. But I guess we're gonna judge a book by its reviews on the back. I'll give it a B tier. This repeatable, like, fighting machine over here. Another one from Kagan. The Throat Slitter. Sounds like some sort of, like, murder name in a movie or something. 5 mana for a 2/2 with ninjutsu of 3. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, destroy target non-black creature that player controls. Sort of sucks. You gotta bounce a card back to your hand, and you pay 3 mana for the privilege of destroying something. So, I mean, it's like a worse version of this 4 mana creature to destroy a non-black creature. Is it the same thing? Destroy target non-black creature. At least it hits artifacts, I guess. I don't know how important that's gonna be. I just think the work that you put into this is too much. And it's not even ETB you get the ability. C tier. Clunkaroony. A Blackbird with Nauseous Gearhulk. Feeling nauseous around here, huh? Someone send this Gearhulk a barf bag. 6 mana for a 5/4 construct with Menace. Very menacing. When Nauseous Gearhulk enters, you may destroy another target creature. If a creature is destroyed this way, you gain a life equal to its toughness. I love the sound of that. I love giant creatures, evasive. What is it? And it's just destroy another target creature. Does not blow itself up. It's pretty good. It is. It's probably somewhere between A and S tier. I'm just going to put an A tier. I think it's just a strong card. Strong. It's not going to win a Nobel Prize or anything for its 6 mana. But if it was as low as maybe 5/4, then now we're talking. Fred with Tidebinder Mage. Oh man, Tidebinder Mage, how we have aged poorly. This is a blue 2/2 Merfolk Wizard. Enters the battlefield, tap target red or green creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Tidebinder Mage. It is like like an okay like creature removal spell. It's not bad. It works best versus decks that don't have removal. So like green decks, a lot of green decks that don't have, not splashing red, not splashing black. So you tap down their mana dork, and it's just basically almost like a 2-mana Flame Tongue Kavu in some cases. And it will stall large creatures, but you know what? Not for forever. So it's pretty meat. Honestly, when it's good, it's really good. When it's bad, it's really medium. So B tier. Next up, Jack with the Balefire Dragon. Balefire Dragon is a 7-mana 6/6 dragon flying. When it deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. Holy cow! Why would anyone... Oh yeah, I guess they can't block. I was like, why would anyone not block this thing? But you know what? Not everyone has flyers. Sick effect. You still have to attack with it. Also doesn't have haste. It's a red eyes black dragon. It looks like a red eyes. You're stealing it from Yu-Gi-Oh! A tier. It's a pretty hefty creature, to be honest. Evan wants to be part of the show. Rampaging. What's rampaging? Rampaging Yao Gui. This is a green X 2/2 bear mutant. Vigilance. Trample. And it enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield, destroy any number of target creature, artifacts, and/or enchantments with total mana value X or less. Oh! That's not bad. So if I pay 5 mana, we hit all... So it's like somewhere in between that creature that destroys all of them. Because if you pay 6, you only hit 3 or less, which is sort of sad. You're not really hitting them all. Whereas if you just pay 6 the other way, you get everything anyhow. Whatever this creature was. Can't remember its name. Not really familiar with it. B tier. Still has a lot of utility, though. It's alright. It's okay. Trent Sims with the super chat. Stark of Wrath. What is this? Starky? There's a whole commander deck around this guy. My play group hates him. Okay, we got 3 mana 2/2 human rogue. Tap, destroy target artifact or creature. That permanent's controller gains control of Stark of Wrath. Well, I mean, the problem... Yeah, everyone gets a ride. It's the village bicycle of Royal Assassins. Destroy artifact or creature. But then they get it, which they could use. They could use it on you. They could use it on you. C tier. It looks fun. It's more fun than... This is one of those cards more fun than good. 10 out of 10 on the fun scale. Probably 2 out of 10 on the good scale. Next up, Benjamin Berkeley with Duplicant. You want to make a copy of something, do you? 6 mana for a 2/4 imprint. Enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-token creature. As long as the card exiled with Duplicant is a creature, Duplicant has the power and toughness of and creature types of the last creature exiled with it, and it's still a shapeshifter, not removal. Disqualiferinos, Algot, Dwarven Confluencer. Why this was not even super chat. Is this even legal anywhere? It's technically not legal anywhere. 3 mana for a 1/1 dwarf. Tap, destroy target non-token land. Okay, so it can be land, but can't be a token. Its controller creates a mana confluence token, so it's getting a land anyway. This has got to be terrible. It's literally, we're turning your land into another land. That's just going to be slightly more painful than the last land. D tier. It's not really making a big difference here. Jack with Miku, Child of Song, or Child of Alara if you prefer. Let's go Child of Song. Oh, that is a very pretty picture. Oh, is this the Miku? The singer? Of all people? Okay, 5 mana. Oh, it's the actual Child of Alara. But I like this picture better. Child of Alara, I believe that's that creepy baby. We don't need creepy baby on this show. 6/6 Trample. When it dies, destroy all non-land permanents. They can't be regenerated. Now, unlike cards like, what's it called? Unlike the False Prophet, the Miku, Child of Song, or Child of Alara, is a pretty big beefy creature for 5 mana. So even if you don't destroy everything, it is a-okay, because people have to deal with this card in the first place. With that being said, still clunky. Okay, B tier. Very clunky, but you know what? It's good insurance policy. Next, we got Xavier with Malfegor. Malfegor. This is a 6 mana 6/6 demon dragon with flying. And when it enters the battlefield, discard your hand. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. For each card discard this way. What the hell is that? Here's the battlefield, discard your hand. Each opponent sacks a creature. This card is absolutely bonkers. It's Oh, wait a minute. We are losing all our cards. for this. Hold on, let me reevaluate. I was about to say, okay, this goes straight to S tier. But then we don't have cards left in our hand. That's the downside here. Okay, okay, I get it. We have no cards left. We have to build our madness deck around this. I still like it, though. A tier. I mean, it basically turns each discard into a removal spell, right? Am I right? Am I right? Phyrexian Dreadnought most definitely is not going to count. It doesn't remove creatures. It removes itself, I suppose. Okay, John Kamano with Master Yamabushi. Yamabushi. 5 mana for a 4/4 human shaman. 2 mana, it will deal 1 damage to target creature or player. So which that means if you have infinite mana, you can just destroy everything. And anyone. If a creature dealt damage by command of this turn would be put into a graveyard, remove it from the game instead. Honestly, I think you got to give this some love because it does have infinite mana combo potential. Deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Yeah, 1 damage to any target, including what's it called? Planeswalkers. I think it deserves only because it has infinite mana combo potential. I think it can be A tier. No, it removes other creatures. Well, I mean, okay, it removes your creatures. It's against the spirit of the show. Yeah, it'll remove creatures, all right. The wrong creatures. Okay, what do we have? Lewis, I don't think you got a card yet. Plague Reaver. Plague Reaver. 3 mana 6. What? What is the cost here? 3 mana 6/5 beast. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice each other creature you control. No, I don't want to do that. Discard 2 cards, sacrifice Plague Reaver. Choose target opponent. Return Plague Reaver to the battlefield under that player's control at the beginning of the next end step. All right, so like basically we can give it to our opponent.
No, God, please.
And now they're like, no, I don't want this. It's interesting. It's real jank, that's for sure. Okay, it's jank with potential. C tier. Jank, but with potential. Okay, but as Benovsky, you didn't have to do that. You had a free super chat. Okay, we got As Morano Margadasna Kuldakar. You actually spelled the whole thing out too. As Morano. Or is it As Morana? As Morana Margadasna Kuldakar. Someone's got to make a really good song out of this. I know Remy made one. Another person can make one. Okay, it's a 3/3 human wizard. It costs nothing, but it doesn't actually cost nothing because you got to cheat it in play somehow. As long as you've discarded a card this turn, you may pay a red or a black to cast the spell. When Asmarano Marigadasna Kuldakar enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card named The Underworld Cookbook. Came from hell or something. You can put it into your hand, then shuffle. Sacrifice 2 foods. Target creature deals 6. Sorry, target creature deals 6 damage to itself. Stop hitting yourself. What are you hitting yourself for, huh? Stupid creatures. The lore doesn't make any sense. Like the food poisons them. And by the way, the Underworld Cookbook is an artifact for 1 mana. Tap. Discard a card, make a food token. Yeah, I believe that's how it works out here. Cards actually cracked and busted. A 6 damage to any creature. That's basically all the creatures, and it's a card advantage engine in itself. I love the card. S tier. Okay, we're gonna rank way more cards than this, but we gotta first take our intermittent break to thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. My favorite place to buy Magic the Gathering cards. Innistrad Remastered is out for your buying pleasure. If you want to relive the glory days of Innistrad, all of them, like all eras of Innistrad, you can buy Innistrad Remasters. Not to mention, you can save the tax on FusionGamingOnline.com. They're removing the GST and the HST, all right? Canada said no tax from, well, I wouldn't say here on out, but at least right now. You got to take advantage of that. Not to mention, where we're missing out here, Ether Drift. If you've missed out on all these deals and cards, Ether Drift is coming out, and check out the spoilers as they come, and pre-order the cards at fusiongamingonline.com. That's how you support the channel around here. But I'll tell you how you extra support the channel when you're using coupon code Nikachu. It lets them know I sent you, and you get 5% off everything at checkout. We're also going to thank Mana Traders. Oh, Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online for Magic Online. My favorite place to actually play digital Magic online. Screw Arena, you don't own those cards, but sorry, you're not going to own the cards here either. You can't rent cards, trade cards, or anything on Arena, but on Magic Online you can. And with Mana Traders, you can borrow the cards necessary to play your favorite decks. Like in Standard. Standard is popping off right now. But there's so many decks you want. Are you going to commit yourself to one deck? No, you want to play all the decks. So rent all of them with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription using coupon code Nikachu_8GS. Back to creature removal. Duplicate counts as removal. It removes target non-token creature from the game. Oh! Let me look again. Okay. 6 mana, 2/4. Okay. You know what? I was totally dead wrong. 6 mana. When I look at imprint, I always think like we are imprinting by removing a card from our hand. No, when it enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-token creature. That totally works out. Okay, as long as a card exiled with duplicate is a creature card, duplicate has the power, toughness, and creature types of the last creature card exiled with duplicate. It is still a spell shaper. Very expensive. Very expensive clone, but clone nonetheless, and pretty versatile too. I'll give it A tier. You got to pay for good effects. It's actually interesting. When we look at the S and A tier, a lot of the cards are expensive, but you get what you paid for. We got super chats galore here. Kagan with Repentant Vampire. Repentant. For the last legal one, I'll do. What the hell does that mean? You're just going to show me illegal ones from here on out? 5 mana for a 3/3 vampire flying. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Repentant Vampire this turn is put into a graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on your Repentant Vampire. Threshold. It's white and has tap, destroy target black creature. Okay then. Very narrow card. It's like a really narrow, what is it? Sengir card? C tier. I don't even, is it even worth C tier? Flying, whenever dealt damage by this turn is put into a graveyard. It doesn't win in combat all that much. It's a 3/3 creature. It's white and has tap, destroy target black creature. C tier, I mean D, yeah, I guess C tier. It's pretty close. Not F, but I'm putting in D tier. I don't really like this ability all too much. Non-love. Cole. The Martyr of Ashes. Martyr of Ashes, a red 1/1. Human Shaman. Pay 2, reveal X red cards from your hand. Sacrifice Martyr of Ashes to deal X damage to each creature without flying. Ooh. Reveal X red cards. So what can you do here? So it's basically 3 mana. It's not bad, actually. You know what? It's like an Anger of the Gods. Now that I read this through. 3 mana, probably reveal 3 red cards. Why not? Probably, it's like a board wipe that's on the battlefield. And it's sort of guaranteed. Like you could play it on turn 1 if you want. But you don't have to. You just play it on turn 3 if you need to. It's not like your opponents can interact with this card. Very interesting. We got Chen here, a bounty hunter or merfolk assassin. I don't think we've done either of them. I thought this was a slingshot. It's a bow and arrow. 4 mana for a 2/2. Tap. Put a bounty counter on target non-black creature. Tap. Destroy target creature with a bounty counter on it. Wow. 3 steps to kill something with this card. Step 1. Wait till the summoning sickness rubs off. Step 2. Put bounty counter on target creature. Step 3, actually kill the creature. That's the slowest Royal Assassin I've ever seen in my life. Absolute junk. D tier. It almost looks reasonable. I mean, when you really think about it, it's not going to do anything. Bell with crypt rats. Got rats. 3 mana for a 1/1. X. Crypt Rats deals X damage to each creature, and each player spend only black mana on X. I think I've been wiped out by this card many times in Pauper. I think it's a... I don't know if it's a Pauper All-Stars type of card, but it's decent. B tier. The only problem with it's smidge expensive. It starts out at 3 mana. You have to hope to untap it. If you get to untap, you basically... The world's your oyster. Everyone will be bowing to you. So long as you have open mana. Sorry, Henrik. Toilet Duck with Dio-Chan. Artful Beauty. 4 mana for a 1/1. It's a legend. On your turn, before you attack, you may tap Dio-Chan to destroy any one creature. Really? Then your opponent destroys any one creature of their choice too. Oh no! We're doing tradesies. I don't want to do tradesies here. I like to just win. We have to trade blows. Well, you can kill anything though. C tier. This is how it's gonna be. Steve Cooper. People are saying reread duplicate carefully. Plus dono. Okay, I got the message. But thanks for the donation. Okay, we'll donate to Citadel. Was Royal Assassin done yet? It has not, actually. The OG! 3 mana, 1/1. Tap, destroy target. Tapped creature. Human Assassin. We need the OG art for this. There we go. That is an assassin. Looks like a mummy, to be honest. Card's terrible. The card's absolutely terrible by today's standards. C tier. Oh, wait, you gotta wait for the creature. It's like it's so weak. It's just a 1 toughness creature, dies to like Plague Engineer and basically everything else. It's 3 mana, has Summoning Sickness. What else? The opponent's creature needs to tap. They know what they're getting into. So you're gonna probably need to be the one forcing the tapping to happen. Hexanort, the Angel of the Dire Hour. Uh, 7 mana for a 5/4 Angel, flash flying. When an Angel of the Dire Hour enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, exile all attacking creatures. Holy, that is going to be what hell of a combat trick. Only problem with this card, very expensive. I don't like the price, but I like the effect. I think it's very strong. You attack me? Well, ha! First you see your army and now you don't. Yeah, if you cast from your hand, exile all attacking creatures. You have also to protect somebody who's attacking you as well. Okay, next we got Marcio, Goblin Sharpshooter. Give a death touch and it becomes a selective board wipe, sort of. Oh yeah, it's when something dies, you get to untap it. 3 mana for a 1/1. Doesn't untap during your untap step. That's not good. Whenever a creature dies, though, untap the Goblin Sharpshooter. Tap, it deals 1 damage to a creature or player. Now it has the most jank combo potential. Super jank. What the hell is going on here? This thing is $20. Why? Wow, super jank. Super jank potential. By all means, it's not that good though. Okay, just because of the combo potential, B tier. Honestly, I think it should be C tier, and I'm gonna squish him in. Squish in there, Goblin Sharpshooter. We have so many super chats. Okay, hold on. I think I should rattle through some super chats so you don't snipe any of these people, right? Or I have to be like super careful. Scott the Dark Knight. Now the other broken elemental, the Fury. I hate looking up Fury because this happens. It's every damn card called Fury except the actual Fury I'm looking for. There it is. 5 mana for the 3/3 double striker, Elemental Incarnation, and when it enters the battlefield, you deal 4 damage. Divide as you choose among any number of target creatures and/or planeswalkers, and of course, you can play it for free by exiling a red card from your hand. It danger. All right, it danger. It danger in 60 card Magic. In Commander, probably not so strong, but in 60 card Magic, it's absolutely brutal. Whether you play some sort of undying effect on this card or Ephemerate to deal even more damage. It's basically like a 6/6 creature for 5 mana. So it is what Flametongue Kavu is afraid of. Or it's what they told Flametongue Kavu. It's the guy they told Flametongue Kavu not to be afraid of, but they really should be afraid of it. Because definitely took his job. Yeah, Fury is undisputedly a super strong card, S tier. Pretty good in Commander, too. Nothing wrong with that card. Sharpshooter plus Death Touch equals money. Yeah, I get it. It's crazy, though. Less than with Emrakul. The Ion's Torn. Annihilator counts. This is a 15... What is this? A 15 mana, 15/15. Can't be countered. Take an extra turn. Flying, protection from spells that are 1 or more colors. Annihilator 6. And when it's put into the graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles their graveyard into their library. Talk about a board wipe. It wipe your lands clean. You don't have lands left, and usually you die pretty quickly. It's hard to take more than 1 shot from an Emrakul. And speaking of Eldrazi's, we've got Kozilek, Butcher of Truth. Butchered that truth big time. 10 mana for a 12/12 Eldrazi. When you cast the spell, you get to draw 4 cards. I love drawing cards. Annihilator 4. Not nearly as bad as Emrakul, but not that much better. Whenever Kozilek, Butcher of Truth is put into a graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles their graveyard into their library. Another S tier level card. Like if it ever gets, even if it isn't cast, if it's just put on the battlefield, I mean, you're in deep crap, and fast deep crap. Ulamog actually, oh no, Ulamog does remove stuff, Dr. Nemo, you're right. I was thinking of the library. Ulamog, Ceaseless Hunger. Endlessly super hungry. 10 mana, 10/10, and we cast the spell Exile 2 target permanents. They're gone. Indestructible, and whenever it attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of their library. So even if you have infinite life, well, you don't have infinite deck, and soon you won't have any deck left. S tier. All the Eldrazi Titans end up on the S tier. Palace Jailer from Accesta. This card's super frustrating. 4 mana for a 2/2. Enters the battlefield. You become the Monarch. When Palace Jailer enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until an opponent becomes the Monarch. Well, it's really hard to become the Monarch when you're taking my creatures down 1 at a time. Gaining extra card advantage. That's great. You wipe my creature out, drew a card, and you expect me to counterattack and claim the throne again. No, that doesn't happen very easily. I actually think this is also an S tier level card. Very, very frustrating card to play against. Also very versatile. Spectral Maniac. The OG Shieldred is both removal and a win con. Are you serious? Shieldred. I don't remember what the OG Shieldred even does. Shieldred. 5 mana for a 4/5 with Menace. Enters the battlefield, each opponent sacks a non-token creature. Yeah, you can't. So you can't sack those useless tokens. Gotta sacrifice the beef. Or a Planeswalker, which are always good. 5 mana, exile Shieldred. Then we're bringing it back to the battlefield. They have to have 8 cards in their graveyard. Into the True Scriptures. Chapter 1. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls. Each opponent discards 3 cards, then mills 3 cards, and put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Exile the True Scriptures. Not bad. There's a lot going for this Shieldred, to be honest. Here's the battlefield. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Actually, this card's pretty strong. It's not too expensive. It's got evasion. And the backside is pretty good. S tier. I like it. It's the wrong Shieldred. It's literally it's not the OG Shieldred. Was I asked to do the OG? That was literally, it was literally called Shieldred. What do you want me to do? It's called Shieldred. I don't know what the OG Shieldred is. That's what it's gonna be. Think they meant Shieldred, the Whispering one? You gotta be more specific. That was the right one, Nikachu. All right, thank God. Okay. Poserdron with a Werefox Bodyguard. I hate this card. I absolutely hate this card. 3 mana for a 2/2 with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to one other target non-Fox creature until Werefox Bodyguard leaves the battlefield. Well, I think this card should Fox off. 2 mana, sacrifice Werefox Bodyguard. You gain 2 life. What sort of annoys me is I have some opportunity in my deck to clone this card to exile it. But I can't because it's a fox, and I can only exile non-fox creatures. Card's strong. Card's strong. It's weak, but it's actually pretty versatile. A tier. Yeah, the card can fox off as far as I'm concerned. Next, let's get one from Kagan. The Skull Saucer. I've used the super chats. I don't know. Let's get another one. Skull Saucy. Because Silver Border is fun. And you super chat, so you get the Silver Border card. 6 mana for a 4/1 flyer. Enters the battlefield, destroy target creature, and put your head on the table. Sacrifice Skull Saucer when your head stops touching the table. I would never play this card. For just that reason, I'm not putting my head on the table. Sounds terrible. You're gonna need like a chiropractor at the end of the tournament. No amount of money. Mr. Noob, Sabo Tavok. Seven mana for a 7/4 first strike protection from legends. Double black tap. Destroy target legend. It can't be regenerated. It's pretty expensive, but it's a pretty nice ability, and especially if you're especially in Commander, it's probably worth something. I could put that B tier. I think if the game goes really late, this card has a lot going for it. Has not the biggest butt, but it's it's bigger than 3, which is important. And it still has first strike, so it's an incredibly good blocker. I don't know, destroying legendary creatures at instant speed sounds good. It's not too bad. Not too shabby. A duck with Emancipation Angel. Emancipation. This is the 3 mana 3/3 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. That's awful. It doesn't even have flash. Enters the battlefield, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. This does the opposite of what we wanted to do. It's technically removal, but removal for the wrong player. Call an ambulance. Yeah, for me, D tier. Sorry about that. I mean, it's technically, I don't know, I know you're bouncing it to like replay it, but it's not good. It's like, it's more like crappy Blink than like a removal creature. The way I look at it. Bulky with Plague Friend. Oh yes, my favorite friends are the ones that bring me the plague. Plague Fiend? Is it Plague Fiend? Oh, Plague Fiend. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? It's okay. I'm certain this is card. Oh, you did say Fiend. I read it as Friend. 2 mana for a 1/1. When it deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that creature unless its controller pays 2. Sounds awful. Deals combat damage. So, I mean, like, the thing is, the ability is face up, right? So they'll know ahead of time. D tier. Domichi 6 is my favorite commander. You don't say. I didn't know 6 could be your commander. Is this it? Oh, it's legendary. I mean, that makes sense anyhow. 3 mana for a 2/4 reach tree folk. When 6 attacks, mill 3 cards. You may put a land card from among them into your hand. As long as it's your turn, non-land perms cards in your graveyard have retrace. I think actually all these abilities are quite strong. So reasonable cost, reach, big butt, graveyard fuel, and also giving all your stuff retrace. Very good card. I wouldn't say card advantage, but good card. It's like basically card selection. Turns your graveyard into an extension of your hand. I think this is an S tier level card. It's a very, very. Maybe I should actually make this A tier. It's probably not S. It's like S tier is like more of a haymaker. This is just incredibly good value. It's very close. Very high A tier, I would say. Doesn't remove either. Oh, that's a problem. Damn. Disqualified. Okay, you're gone. Was that a super chat? Yeah, it has to be removal. 6. It can become removal, but not strictly removal. Removal question mark? Not removal. Is this... Does it removal? It does not pass the removal test. Okay, sorry. Shadow Walker. Sigrid. God Favored. This is a 3 mana 2/2 human warrior. Flash, first strike, protection from god creatures. When Sigrid, God Favored, enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target attacking or blocking creature until Sigrid leaves the battlefield. Exile up to 1 target attacking or blocking. Flash. Can't do whatever you want, but you do have to... interesting. Demetrius, like, removes cards from your deck. No, if we're talking about, like, remove stuff... It doesn't even remove it from your deck, right? Like, it takes from the deck into the graveyard. But we're talking about, like, cards that affect the battlefield. Like, remove stuff from the battlefield. It's an excellent milling card, though. It's an excellent self-mill. What are we going to do with Sigrid? Am I pronouncing it right? Sigrid? 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 I don't feel like I'm pronouncing it very feminine. B tier, I think. Could be a high B tier. Protection from god creatures. Not a lot of gods in this game to take advantage of that. Also, the stats aren't very big, even for a first striker. And it has to be an attacking or blocking creature, which makes it more situational than most cards in that class. Little MX Doom with the Giant Killer. Uh-oh. I guess we can count this. We're not counting the left side. We're going to count the right side. It's a 1 mana 1/2 with pay 2, tap target creature. It's it is basically removal. Like, it's locking the creature down from the game. You'd have to do it repeatedly, though. What is the Giant Killer? I guess it's this person over here with the axe. It's not bad. Yeah, I'm going to put in the B tier. It's not bad. You get to tap any creature, no matter how big, how strong. If it's got haste. The only thing that's stopping it is if it has Shrouder or Hexproof. Otherwise, I'm a fan of the Giant Killer. And I really do respect that it's 1 mana and a 1/2 creature. And if you just have any random mana up, then you can use it. But also, the big problem with stuff like Giant Killer is you never know if they're going to attack you with their creature. And then you feel so stupid if you don't tap their creature down, they attack you with it. Angel of Serenity from Epic Nate. Angel of Serenity. This card was really cool back in the day. 7 mana for a 5/6 Angel flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile up to 3 other target creatures from the battlefield and or creature cards from the graveyard, which is very unusual. When Angel of Serenity leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to their owner's hands. So very chunky creature for like a weird removal spell. But one bonus is that even if you deal with the Angel of Serenity, the creatures don't come back to the battlefield. I mean, they get bounced back to hand. So the onus is still on the opponent to recast those creatures to get them back in there. So Wide Angel of Serenity. Probably can defeat Wide Putin and Zelensky at the same time. If anyone's familiar with those memes. Next super chat. Let's take from. We'll take from Bell. Clark Clan Shaman. What is this all about? Clark Clan Shaman. Another Pauper All-Star. Really, I'm not familiar. I mean, I'm not deep in the Pauper format, but I've never seen this card played against me. Red 1/1 Goblin Shaman. Sack an artifact. Clark Clan Shaman deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. Only the creatures? Sacrifice an artifact. This card looks terrible. Deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. So it kills itself, right? Like it's going. You better hold priority. I don't like it. I think this looks terrible. You're basically at least 2 for 1-ing yourself. Deals 1 damage. At least it deals to each. Anyway, I don't like this card very much. If this card's really good in Pauper, then so be it. But I don't see the value. Yeah, it hurt itself in its confusion. Clark Clan Shaman got confused. Clark Clan Shaman attempts to attack. Clark Clan Shaman hit itself in confusion. This is a 1-mana board wipe. Yeah, and it'll wipe your board out too. You gotta like sack all your artifacts to enable this thing. That doesn't sound like a good deal. That's the worst deal in all the deals I've ever heard of. Yeah, we did Royal Assassin. It's been done. It's a terrible card by today's stand. Just a terrible card. Okay, Kagan with Baron Von Count. For the best kind of removal. Damn these uncards. 3 mana for a 3/3 human villain. Enter the battlefield with the Doom counter on 5. Whenever you cast a spell with the indicated numeral in its mana cost text box, power or toughness, move the Doom counter 1 numeral to the left. When the Doom counter moves from 1, destroy target player and put that Doom counter on 5. I don't even know if I'm supposed to count this thing. It's basically player removal, but not actually creature removal. Whenever you cast a spell with indicated numeral in the mana cost, text box, or power. I have no idea how good this is. I'm assuming it's like pretty okay, but it seems grossly impossible or very, very difficult to enable. So I'm gonna put in the C tier. But I don't know. Maybe this card's actually really good. After all, it's not like it wipes the board when you enable this. When you get from 1 to 0, it literally destroys. It destroys players. It's player destruction. Okay, we got Raznab, Vodelian Illusionist. Why would this be removal? I'm curious. What am I doing? We did big game hunter. You just like sniped yourself. Or maybe not sniped yourself. Does this card exist? Come on, Scryfall, work with me here. 3 mana for a 2/2. Blue. Tap. Target creature phases out. We'll accept it. That sounds pathetic. Target creature phases out, so it's going to phase back in. So it's basically like tap target creature. It's honestly not the worst thing I ever heard of. It's certainly not particularly useful either. For that mana cost. C tier. Okay, I'm going to take a few no card yets, and then we're going to finish the show with a bunch of super chats. Liam with Dark Hatchling. Dark Hatchling, 6 mana, 3/3 horror. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. Good ability. Too strong. Too expensive. A little too expensive for that ability. But I like the. I think if it was cheaper, it could be higher up on the list. C tier. But it's strong. Strong effect. Actually, no, it's got to be higher than this. I can put it in the B tier. Even at 6 mana, like wiping something out and keeping something around is like okay. Who else has no card yet? Crowcore Games, Overlord of the Boulder Villages. Boiler Villages. I don't know what that means. 6 mana, 5/5. Enters or attacks, deals 4 damage to any target. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. That's very strong. And you can use you can play Impending to destroy something for 4, and it's still a 5/5 creature at the end. I think this card's great. S tier. Very strong card. Argent. I think you're gonna be the last freebie here. Hithonia the Cruel. Whoever Hithonia is. So, okay, 6 mana for a 4/6 Gargon. Death Touch. 8 mana, Monstrosity 3. And then when it becomes monstrous, destroy all non-Gorgon creatures. That's so hard to pull off, though. Step 1, play 6 mana creature. Step 2, get to 8 mana. Step 3, have it somehow resolve. Not very likely. Little too ambitious, I think, with this card. C tier. I could be wrong. Maybe this is B tier worthy. A lot of these cards are like getting really poopy, to be honest. Okay, time to get back to super chats. Little Next Dune, Necron Deathmark, destroy and a self mill. Five mana for a 5/3 with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target creature and target player mills 3 cards. I'm assuming that player could be you. I like that it has Flash, though. Image is pretty bad, too. Bad in a good way. This is an A tier level card. It's a Flash 5/3 flyer that blows stuff up. Nothing wrong with that at all. Marcio, Toxrill the Corrosive. Toxrill the Corrosive, this 7 mana 7/7 slug horror. It's a big slug. That's what happens if you don't squish them early in your garden. They can grow up to be this big. At the beginning of your upkeep, at the beginning of each end step, put a slime counter on each creature you don't control. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. And then whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter on it dies, create a 1/1 black slug creature token. For 2 mana, sack a slug, draw a card. So you get value out of your slugs. You put slime counters on creatures. They shrink, and then as they die, you get like creatures that you can convert into some cash. I think it's pretty slow though. Slow but effective. It's beginning of each. Oh, sorry, it's the beginning of each end step. So very good in Commander. Pretty useless in 1-on-1 Magic, but okay, A tier. Commander pulling its weight for this card. I dislike Toxrill. Well, then maybe I should move it up on the list. No, we'll just leave it at A tier. Someday I should have a show like this and just gauge everybody's hate for certain cards. Okay, Bryce, what do you got for us? The Aven Interrupter. I don't know if I would count this. I don't really consider hand removal like removal. Okay, 3 mana for a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, exile target spell. Like, it's more of a counter spell than anything. It becomes plotted, and spells your opponents cast from graveyards or exile cost 2 more. I can't count it. Sorry about that, Bryce. I'm going to donate this one. Okay, we can donate. We'll give to Christopher B. with Vengeful Pharaoh. What's this? 5 mana? 5 mana for a 5/4 zombie with Death Touch. And whenever combat damage is dealt to you or a planeswalker you control, if Vengeful Pharaoh is in your graveyard, destroy target attacking creature. Then put Vengeful Pharaoh on top of your library. It is a bit clunky. Yeah, it's very clunky, actually. Because it's so clunky, C tier. It's not useless, though. Like, I played, like, a good chunk against this card in the past. And it's like, it does a semi-good job, like, slowing the game down because I attack my opponent, I deal damage. And if I haven't killed them immediately, then I slowly lose creatures to the ability. What is the first card in S tier? It's Solitude. It's the first card. Little MX Doom with the floral spasm. Floral spasm. 4 mana 2/2. Screw the ancient scripture. When Floral Spasm attacks and isn't blocked, you may destroy target artifact defending player controls. If you do, Floral Spasm assigns no combat damage this turn. Attacks and isn't blocked. You can destroy an artifact. Assigns no so we don't even deal damage at the end of this. This is awful. I hate it. D tier. It might be worth a little bit more than this. I can see a lot of commander games where you attack and they just don't have a blocker for the creature, right? And then you just freely kill off a creature. Marcio with this, does Aura Thief count? Probably not. But we can take a look. 4 mana for a 2/2 flyer. When it's put into the graveyard from play, you gain control of all enchantments. Yeah, I'll count that. The effect is strong enough that I'll put it into the B tier. Like, normally I don't like these types of cards where you have to, like, maneuver the creature into the graveyard or you have to use some sort of removal or something. Like, no one's going to willfully kill this thing. But killing this thing can end up with you gaining more cards in the end than not. Please read Floral Spasm's OG text. It is sentient. If Floral Spasm attacks an opponent and is not blocked, then Floral Spasm may choose to destroy a target artifact under that opponent's control and deal no damage. I got nothing out of that. Let's get some Pacer Fan Forever's cards here. Ooh, Ravenous Chupacabra! Ravenous Chupadaddy. This is a 4 mana 2/2. Enter the battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls. It's honestly, it's pretty simple. It's a simple 4 mana, kill that damn thing type of card. And for that, I think it actually is just like an A tier level card. It's a 4 mana removal spell. Kill any creature on the battlefield. Leave a body behind. Don't have anything else to say about this. There's so many cards that are a little bit better than this card or a little bit worse. And a lot of the cards, like there's so many cards that are just strictly worse than this card. This is the best of the best. 4 mana 4 mana Grizzly Bear. And I don't know. It's what Flame Tongue Kavu wished it was. Okay, Lilimax Doom. Agent of Treachery. Oh, that's a pretty big one. Card that's banned in Historic and Brawl. I think it should be freed from Historic. 7 mana for a 2/3. Enters the battlefield. Gain control of target permanent. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more permanents you don't own, you get to draw 3 cards. I don't know about this third ability. I don't know about this last ability, how realistic that is at pulling off. But the first one is... I don't like the mana cost of this card, though. I'm just like 2 thumbs down on this mana cost. I think it's a B tier level card. I think it's just really expensive. Also, I think you can just... Well, you could kill it, but I guess it doesn't do anything. 2/3 is just also pathetic. I guess the deal is you gain control of the permanent for forever. I guess that's the upside to this card. Card got banned in Standard. Yeah, I remember. It probably meant it deserved to get banned in standard. Nomichi coming in for some payback, right? You want some payback here. Unwanted remake, alternate art. I love it when people request very specific art cards. White instant. Destroy target creature. Its controller manifests dread. That is not a creature. Remember, this is removal creatures. Creatures that act like removal. This is creature removal. Instants that act like removal. So this gets disqualified. We're gonna donate that one to Michi. I'm sorry, Demichi. It's not your day today. It's really bad luck. Okay, Gillen wants a card. Druid of Purification. And by the way, Nightmare Incarnation. I got my eye on you. There's another disqualified card coming up. I'll give it to you. It's a 4 mana for a 2/3 Hermit Druid. Sorry, Human Druid. I keep reading this as Hermit Druid. When Druid of Purification enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player may choose an artifact or enchantment you don't control. Destroy each permanent chosen this way. As the battlefield, starting with you, each player may choose an artifact or enchantment. They may destroy each permanent chosen this way. As the battlefield, starting with you. Oh! So they can choose cards that are not their own? That's pretty cool. I like it. Pay 4 mana. Get everyone to blow up something else. A tier. Yeah, this is the opposite. It's a removal that makes a creature. Yeah, we're not looking for that. That's for sure. Okay, Pace of Fan Forever with the Thundermaw Hellkite. Oh, way back in the day, wasn't it? The Thunder. 5 mana for a 5/5 flyer with haste. Enters the battlefield. It deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. Your opponent's control. Tap those creatures. They used to be good back in the day when people played flyers. Today it's fallen from grace. It's still like okay. It's like it's a B tier worthy card. Like the stats alone are fine. It's just not what it used to be. That's all. It's just not. It's seen better days. Oh, Jack has a big one. Okay, Devout Harpist would be better with its old text rather than the updated ones. Is that right? Okay, well, look at this. It's a white 1/1. Tap, destroy target creature enchantment. Isn't that just like an aura? Okay, and then now it's a white, a tap. It's a white 1/1. Tap, destroy target aura attached to a creature. Destroy target creature enchantment. I don't see the difference. Like, I would not read this as me being able to destroy a creature. This is so damn narrow. Destroy freaking auras. D tier. The aura decks, they suck. Unless they're trying to combo. I guess it's protection from combo, right? Lil MX Doom. We're not done. We're not winning. Whoa. We are not done. I got some more tunes here. We're not done here. Too many super chats. People love super chatting. Big Game Hunter. We did that one, right? Big Game Hunter. I believe that is. You sniped yourself, basically. Okay, where's Nightmare Incarnation? Nightmare's been around here for all day. No card yet. Shieldred, Whispering One. Shieldred. I didn't know Shieldred likes to gossip. Hey, you hear what I heard? 7 mana for a 6/6 with Swamp Walk. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature. All right, pay up with blood. Beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Frankly, this card is insane just for that ability alone. Screw the sacrificing part, and also unblockable against like a huge chunk of decks. S tier. Yeah, this is the OG Shieldred. Well, I don't know which one's the OG Shieldred. Chen with Karpluzan Minotaur. Oh, you deserve a super chat sound effect, by the way. This one. Okay, 4 mana for a 3/3 Minotaur Warrior. A cumulative upkeep. Flip a coin. What's wrong with that? Whenever you win a flip, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Whenever you lose a flip, though, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player of an opponent's choice. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Who is this creature working for? And it's such slow removal, too. It'll take forever to kill anything. You have to wait several turns for it to accumulate, so D tier. What a weird card. Faces fan forever with the Mawlock. Oh my god, this card. Green-red X, 2/2 with Ravenous. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. If X is 5 or more, draw a card when it enters. Terror from the Deep. When Mawlock enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Yeah, enters the battlefield. So, like, basically, it's like a pretty damn strong card, and this whole Ravenous thing is pretty easy to deploy. This creature enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. If X is 5 or more, draw a card when it enters. So really good late game potential. Pretty good on the early game. Like if you're on the play, I would be very fine with sniping off any mana dork, whether it be Delighted Halfling or Birds of Paradise or so on. I think it's a I think this is a very versatile and very strong card. So I actually think that it is S tier. Okay, we can put it A tier worthy. I think it's very strong. It's either strong A tier or weak S tier. Basically. Rasna was like, I want a pre-release with Carpals and Minotaur. Was your coin rigged? Little MX Doom with the Noise Marine. Five mana for a 3/2. Astartes Warrior with Cascade. That's not bad. Sonic Blaster. When Noise Marine enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to the number of spells you've cast this turn to any target. It's probably like a pretty bad removal spell. So this is probably the only thing you're playing. Plus it has Cascade. So you get to play 2 spells. Deals 2 damage. Yeah, I think it's just going to deal 2 damage. Very weak as a removal base card. Also pretty crappy as a cascading card. C tier. Not big fan. Marcio with the Murderous Rider. I don't think this is going to count, to be honest. But we'll take a look at it. Murderous Rider. Because I think the murdering is from the instant, not the creature. Creature just lifelink when it dies, put on the bottom of its owner's library. Yeah, this one's not going to work out. We're going to donate. Marcio. David's waiting for a dono. Well, here's your chance. Kogla. The Titan Ape. You waited patiently. You snapped that up. Okay, this is a 6 mana, 7/6 ape. No monkeying around here. When Kogla the Titan Ape enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. And it will win almost all its fights. When Kogla attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. Wow, this does everything. And then for 2 mana, return target human you control to its owner's hand. Kogla gains indestructible until end of turn. I don't know what the hell the lore is to that. Give the human back and now you feel like you're on top of the world here. I think that's a worthy A tier level card. Maybe it's even S tier worthy. I just haven't played with this card yet. Pays a fan forever with the Chaos Defiler. This is 5 mana for a 5/4 trample, and when it enters the battlefield or dies, for each opponent, choose a non-land permanent that player controls. Destroy one of them chosen at random. For each opponent, choose a non-land permanent that player controls. Destroy one of them at random. Unfortunately, the random chance to this sort of makes this card a lot weaker. Like, the card is fine, but you don't know with certainty what you're actually going to blow up. So I'm going to put in the B tier. Okay, this got disqualified very early, so we're going to donate Vinovsky a super chat. Anyone else that's no card yet? I don't know if William got a card. Harvester of Misery. Does such thing exist? Yeah, it does. Okay, 5 mana for a 5/4 menace. Enters the battlefield. Other creatures get -2/2 until end of turn. That is quite strong. And for 2 mana, discard the Harvester of Misery. Target creature gets -2/2 until end of turn. So it is a very reliable 2 mana removal spell. Also a reliable 5 mana, 5 power, menacing board wipe. Mini Elish Norn, you might say. Maybe a cousin of Elish Norn in some capacity. I think this is A tier level. Very, very nice card. And that's it. Are we missing any cards? Oh, we're probably missing millions of cards. So many people are still throwing stuff out in the comments in the chat. Would you have changed where these cards be? Let me know in the comments section below. And of course, we gotta thank everybody for being here. By the way, if you want to be a part of the show, you got to be here 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, thanks to everyone who supports the channel. Oh, thank you so much, patrons, the members on YouTube, and also the super chatters and the people who also super chat so other people are part of the show. And of course, thanks everyone for your suggestions. Suggestions coming from none other the likes from the wonderful Christopher B, Old Boy, David Sampson, Paul Rog, Michael, Draconic. We got Jacob here. Procore Games, Bastock, Kano, Julio, Little Deadfly, Old Boy, Benjamin Berkeley, Steve Cooper, Little MX Doom, Nightmare Incarnation, Bell, Bryce, Paul Rog, Dr. Nemo. Not enough dragons, but still there are dragons, all right? Some shows there are no dragons. There's at least 2 dragons on this show. So usually my coffee crew, keep bringing them coffees, and we're going to keep bringing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.